Leading the Nightline tonight, Sarawak Sovereign Linked Unit Trust Fund, ASSAR, is reaffirming its fiscal strength in the capital markets. Premier Dato' Peri Tan Sri Abang Johari Tunopeng has announced an interim dividend of 3 cents per unit for the 2026 financial year. Payout is set to benefit over 57,000 unit holders, signalling continued recovery and growth post-restructuring.
Berdasarkan prestasi kukuh ASSAR, saya dengan sukacitanya mengumumkan pengagihan dividen interim sebanyak 3 sen seunit bagi tahun kewangan 2020. Pengagihan kali kelima pasca persetujuan ini yang berjumlah 15.24 juta akan memberi manfaat kepada 57,878 pemegang unit ASSAR. Dikira berdasarkan baki pegangan unit mereka pada 31 Disember 2025. Ini bermakna lebihan pendapatan sebanyak 12.95 juta yang tersedia sebagai reserve bagi menampung pendapatan dana ASSAR untuk tempoh yang seterusnya.
The announcement comes as ASSAR maintains a steady trajectory despite persistent global market uncertainty. For the first 6 months of the fiscal year, the fund realized a gross income of 19.87 million ringgit. Portfolio data reveals a diversified revenue stream with 42% derived from fixed income securities and 36% from equity sales and capital gains. Through disciplined risk management, ASSAR reported a net income of 16.19 million ringgit after operating expenses. With an additional 12 million ringgit carried over from previous reserves, the total distributable fund now stands at 28.19 million ringgit.
Sarawak's ambition to lead Southeast Asia's green economy gains international momentum as Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank, or AIIB, expresses readiness to fund future strategic projects. AIIB Chief Investment Officer Lim Kim See states that Sarawak's development goals, particularly in renewable energy and next-generation technology, align perfectly with the bank's mission to invest in infrastructure for tomorrow.
The Premier Sarawak was very excited as well very excited for us to start exploring projects together to see what we can do, because one is to just have a vision and one is just to have ideas and talk, but I think what we really focus on is execution of projects and bringing these projects to fruition.
Speaking after a courtesy call on Premier Dato' Peri Tan Sri Abang Johari Tunopeng in Kuching, Lim identifies key sectors for potential collaboration. These include hydrogen production, carbon capture technology, sustainable aviation fuel, and large-scale transportation infrastructure such as ports. Lim notes that this partnership strengthens Sarawak's role in the ASEAN connectivity agenda by enhancing both transport and energy networks. The initiative aims to transform Sarawak into a resilient region and a leading node in Southeast Asia's green energy supply chain. The AIIB delegation's visit to Sarawak concludes a tour of Malaysia following high-level meetings in Kuala Lumpur on Thursday.
The women's wing of Parti Pusaka Bumiputra Bersatu, or PBB, reports a significant surge in political mobilization, with membership climbing to 181,850 as of February 5th. PBB Women Chief Dato' Sri Fatimah Abdullah states that the figures represent a substantial increase since November, reflecting strong momentum for the party's grassroots expansion.
Daripada tahun lepas kita dapati ada peningkatan yang sangat meyakinkan, 1,393 itu berkaitan dengan keahlian.
Speaking after the Women's Supreme Council meeting in Kuching, Fatima highlights that discussions center on state elections preparations and internal party strengthening. The wing also reaffirms its support for Premier Dato' Petinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg, specifically his mandate to defend Sarawak's constitutional rights under the Malaysia Agreement 1963.
Kami menyokong penuh kepimpinan Yang Amat Berhormat Premier Sarawak dalam mempertahankan. We want to assure Yang Amat Berhormat Premier that he is not alone. Bahawa pergerakan wanita berdiri dan menyokong penuh apa yang dilakukan oleh Yang Amat Berhormat Premier tentang mempertahankan hak-hak Sarawak dan juga agenda untuk memajukan Sarawak.
Furthermore, the wing echoes the sentiments of PBB Secretary General Dato' Sri Alexander Nantalinggi, emphasizing the critical need for unity and harmony in achieving Sarawak's development goals.
Sarawak is stepping up its focus on the aerospace sector. At a major conference in Kuching, leaders stressed that aerospace is a knowledge-driven industry built on skills, technology and innovation. Sarawak is now promoting lifelong upskilling and reskilling to keep its workforce globally competitive as aerospace converges with energy, data and high-tech industries. Now let's hear from ICATS University College Deputy Dean Abdul Qayyum Khalidin on what this means for jobs, growth and Malaysia's future.
Beyond public stargazing, the Santubong Astronomy Centre can support key aerospace engineering functions, including satellite tracking, space situational awareness, and basic orbital analysis. With further development, its infrastructure could also be used for radio frequency monitoring, ground-based sensor testing, and data processing for small satellite missions, all essential building blocks of a space ecosystem.
It is a place where young Sarawakians can start to understand how space technology works in real life, how satellites sense information, how that information helps us track weather, forests, floods, and our resources.
As Sarawak targets to become an aerospace hub by 2030, Qayyum also reveals the next critical step after the Astronomy Centre is the development of a dedicated aerospace engineering and testing facility. Such a centre would enable the design, assembly and testing of satellites, drones and aerospace components, translating scientific interest into real industrial capability.
Santubong is a good starting point. From awareness training to engineering facilities and research, this can be translated into projects and industry. This is just the beginning of new space era, and a lot more opportunity could open up while we are building this talent and also industry value chain.
At the closing of the Asia-Pacific Aerospace Conference and Exhibition, APACE 2026, Premier Dato' Petinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg announces that Sarawak is stepping up its science and engineering drive with the development of the Sarawak Science Centre and the Borneo Astronomy Centre in Santubong. These institutions are set to inspire curiosity, strengthen science, technology, engineering and mathematics STEM literacy, and encourage young Sarawakians to pursue careers, including aerospace engineering. The initiatives are in tandem with the demand in aerospace and new space development.
A desperate search continues in southern Spain for a missing girl. A storm Leonardo leaves a trail of destruction across the Iberian Peninsula. Slow-moving system has triggered massive floods and widespread evacuations in both Spain and Portugal, with some areas receiving a year's worth of rain in just days. In Andalusia, emergency services are searching the Turbula River after a young girl was swept away by rising waters. Storm Leonardo has already claimed one life in Portugal's Alentejo region, where a man's vehicle was washed away by flood waters on Wednesday. This adds to the toll of a region already in grief, following last week's Storm Christian, which killed at least 5 people in Portugal. Across southern Spain, over 3,500 people remain evacuated as schools and roads are forced to close under a red alert. The crisis extends to northern Morocco, where flash floods have displaced more than 100,000 people. Meteorologists attribute the extreme rainfall to an atmospheric river carrying moisture from the Caribbean, replenishing the storm as it stalls over the region. With soils already saturated, the risk of further landslides remains critical, as the tornado is expected to linger into early next week. The activist group Global Summit Flotilla is escalating its humanitarian efforts, announcing a massive coordinated mission to Gaza set for March 29th. The ambitious operation seeks to break the ongoing siege by deploying over 100 vessels by sea and a simultaneous overland convoy, marking the group's largest mobilization to date.
The organization states that the March 29 departure will unite thousands of volunteers from over 100 countries. Described as a coordinated non-violent response, the mission aims to address what activists call the destruction of civilian life, mass starvation, and the prolonged siege on the Strip. The naval component is set to launch from multiple Mediterranean hubs, including Barcelona, Italy, and Tunisia, while a parallel land convoy advances towards Gaza from North Africa. Beyond basic relief supplies, the mission carries a sophisticated team of professionals, including over 1,000 medical personnel, engineers, and reconstruction teams. The flotilla also includes legal observers and war crimes investigators tasked with documenting violations of international law and environmental destruction in the region. This mission follows a preliminary announcement in December 2025, signaling a major expansion of global activism directed towards the Gaza Strip.
U.S. President Donald Trump is announcing the launch of a new government-backed website aimed at radically reducing prescription drug prices for American consumers. The platform, dubbed TrumpRx.gov, is part of a broader strategy to leverage international trade deals and tariffs to ensure the United States secures the lowest global prices for medication.
The president says the initiative ends decades of Americans subsidizing cheaper medication for the rest of the world. Under his new Most Favored Nation agreements, the U.S. will demand pricing parity with the lowest cost nations.
The American people were effectively subsidizing the cost of drugs for the entire world, and it's not going to happen any longer. We ended it. Everybody knew it was unfair for 30 years, but nobody did anything about it. Under the Most Favored Nation agreements my administration has negotiated, the United States will pay the lowest price paid by any other countries.
Trump further revealed that he used the threat of tariffs to force other nations to increase their own drug prices, arguing that while costs may double or triple abroad, they will plummet for the American people.
Drug prices in other nations will go up by doing this. They had to agree, and the reason they agreed is I used tariffs. I said, if you don't put them up, then we're going to put tariffs on your nation, which will be more expensive to you. So in many cases, the drug costs will go up by double and even triple for them, but they're going way down for the United States.
The White House expects the website to go live immediately, featuring deep discounts on dozens of the most frequently prescribed medications.
Get all the updates you need all in one app as TVS Inspire brings you live updates on events, news and programs. Available now on the Apple App Store and Google Play Store. TVS Inspire, world on your screen whenever, wherever. And those were the updates on TVS Nightline. I'm Sholish Marto. Thank you for watching and have a good night.